Okay, here we are. We're live. Trying out a new system right now. Anyway, tonight we're talking about supplements. This is a really important live, and I want to cover a lot of information as much as I can. There's a lot of information out there about supplements. First of all, there's a lot of people out there that think they don't need any supplementation. They don't need anything. They can get everything from their food, okay? So that's what a lot of people believe. They can just get it all from their food. And, and they're covered, right? And then you got people that believe they do need some supplements and that it may be a sound thing to do and it may be important to do. Glad to see you guys here in the comments coming up here. There's people that will do that too. Well, they'll be like, you know what, I kind of need some supplements. But there's a lot of people that, like I said, they believe they could get it all from their food. And can we get everything from our food? Can we get every chemical compound? Can we get every nutrient? Can we get all the things we need from just our food? That's really important all on its own. Like, that's an important critical thing to think about. If we can get everything from our food, think about this, you guys. Check this out, okay? If we can get everything from our food, all right, well, then what about the food we ate all these years? What about the food we ate 20 years ago? What about the food we ate 10 years ago? What about the food we ate 5 years ago? What about the processed food we might have eaten? What about the greasy fast food we might have eaten, right? What about that all on its own? Think about that. So, there's a lot to really consider here. And did we eat poor food in the meaning like very poorly in the past? So even if we're on the most amazing diet right now, even if you think you're on this great balanced diet, or you're on this food combining diet someone sold you into, or you're on a intuitive eating diet, which really isn't really much of anything in many ways, and say you're on a paleo diet, or say you're on a plant-based diet, or whatever you're doing, what was the last 20 years? Was it all organic? Have you been eating organic food since birth? And I'm going to tell you something, Rod. Even organic farms, organic soil, the farm soil in organic farming is depleted. So even farms that are growing organic food, are depleted of many trace minerals, many nutrients, and that's organic. So say you're somebody who didn't eat organic your whole life, because who's eating organic their whole life? Not a lot of people. Not a lot of people. And was their soil the most richest and nutritious? Whatever. But I've known people that they grow their own food, okay, and their soil is so rich. Their compost that they use, everything they do, and trace minerals that they add through all kinds of different options, right? And they're using rock dust, and they're using all these different options, and it's so, but organic farming, it doesn't really do that. That's not how it's done. So, and then conventional farming really depleted. So here's the deal. Here's the question I want to ask you, and no big deal. It's just an interesting question. Were you eating a lot of wild foods throughout your life? If you're someone that believes you can get every single thing from your food, and you don't need supplements, and you don't need supplementation on any level, and you think you can get anything, everything and anything from your food, were you eating a lot of wild foods your whole life? How much dulse have you eaten throughout your whole life? How many wild blueberries have you eaten throughout your whole life? How much aloe have you been eating throughout your whole life? Because I'm going to talk about aloe. I'm actually going to cut it open, show you how I eat aloe every single day. How much wild food are you getting in your diet, right? So that's one thing. How about this one? How many herbs have you gotten in your diet throughout your whole life? How much oregano? How much sage? How much thyme? How much, marjoram? How many herbs have you gotten? How much lemon balm tea have you consumed your whole life? Think about it. Or how about this? How many leafy greens have you been eating your whole life? Okay, if you're somebody that thinks, I don't need to get any supplementation, I don't need any supplements, I don't need nothing like that, I could get it all from my food. How many leafy greens? Have you been consuming 4 cups of spinach every single day, 2 cups of spinach every single day? How about mosh? How about lots of kale? Have you been consuming leafy greens, lettuces every single day, and a decent amount of them? Are you doing all these leafy greens for your whole life? No, I doubt it. And how about this one? How much fruit have you eaten throughout your life? How much fruit? all the fruit that we need to get the nutrition we need and get all the things we need. How much fruit? Think about that one right there, all in its out. And with the trace minerals, the antioxidants, the antiviral compounds in fruit, the antibacterial compounds in fruit, right? The phytochemical compounds in fruit that actually de-age us, and the berries and the apples, and cleanse our liver and and feed our liver all kinds of glucose and nutrients. How much fruit are we doing our whole 20, 30 years? But wait a minute, you probably had pizza. Of course, you had pizza, I'm sure, right? Well, those pizza days means you weren't eating all wild foods, and even if you weren't doing pizza that day, you probably wouldn't be doing wild foods. I'm not shaming anybody. I'm not at all. This is life. This is normal. Like, exactly. You might be somebody that had pizza on and off your whole life, but you can get everything, you can get all the nutrition you want out of your food. Well, okay, that's interesting. Because, man, in order to get everything we need out of food, man, we got to be like on it. We have to be like just wild foods, the herbs, the greens, the leafy greens, lots of fruit, all organic. Oh my God. And that's not something that's obtainable normally, or something that's so easy, or something we've done our whole life. No. So yes, we need supplementation. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not one of those that's like, you got to have supplementation. No, if you feel good and you don't have any symptoms and you don't have a condition, you guys, and you're not battling something and you're not dealing with something, then fine. Fine. If you're not dealing with something, living with something, suffering from something, then maybe you can do your foods and clean that diet up and make sure you're doing stuff. By the way, Cleanse to Heal, $16.99, dirt cheap, on sale, Amazon US. So I'm just letting you know, and you can get it free at the library, by the way. So tonight we're going to talk about powerful information, because I'm going to read out of Cleanse to Heal. I'm going to read out of here, and I'm going to read excerpts, and I'm going to talk about chapter 27, the supplements chapter, and I'm going to go through there a little bit. I'm going to answer questions too, really important. So we're going to talk about all of this, and it's really interesting information if you really think about it, because I run into people all the time and they're like, I don't need any B12 and I don't need anything because I get everything from my food. It's not really possible, even though I want people to get as much as they can get out of their foods. But no one's going to keep up with the wild foods. No one's going to keep on it with all that. No one's going to do aloe vera every single day. No one's going to do aloe every day. It's not going to happen. So, and so supplementation is important. And then if you're suffering with a symptom or a condition, like the over 200 different symptoms and conditions plus more in here, and you're suffering, and then supplementation is an option to go as far as you want to go. You could start with the foods, you could start with the cleanses, and a lot of people, they just get rid of their conditions with the cleanses in Cleanse to Heal. But you can go as far as you want to, and you could really crank, that's the whole point, and go as far as you need to go. Powerful information you won't hear anywhere else I'm going to talk about tonight, like all medical medium information. And if you did hear a word or two about medical medium information, and you're like, oh no, wait a minute, I heard about metals somewhere else. Focus, consider the details. Pay attention to the details. The details matter, because you'll know that information isn't medical medium. And you'll know that medical medium information has all the details, like how toxic heavy metals oxidize in our brain and what symptoms and conditions they cause. That never existed anywhere else. So if you hear something about it now, it originated from here. Most people in the medical medium community, they started their journeys seeing specialists and doctors, 10 doctors, 15 doctors, 20 doctors. I was known as the guy many years before the books were published as the guy people brought their bizarre symptoms to, and they couldn't get answers during the course of sickness, and they'd be seeing all these different doctors and everything. And what happened is that, over the years, of the last 35 years, I've worked with lots of doctors that wanted answers, wanted help troubleshooting cases. Whole reason why this community grew so big anyway throughout the years, and millions of medical medium books have gone around the world and have sold, like that one right there. The reason why is because people got answers for the first time, and that was important. So people in the medical medium community, they've been there, they've done that. A lot of people come here who haven't been there and done that yet. They get here early and they start doing stuff, and and they don't have that experience of going around for 5 years with symptoms and conditions and not having answers. They don't have that experience yet. But most people, they've been there, they've done that. So it's been really kind of a great thing to offer the information so people can move forward. And real compassionate doctors, lots of them, have the medical medium books in their doctor's offices. They're helping people every day with them. It's really an incredible thing that's happening. So feel free to bring what you learn here tonight to your medical doctor, to your healthcare provider, to your practitioner. Feel free to bring the book, show them the symptoms and conditions in here. This is a medical textbook is what it is. So if it's overwhelming, some parts of it, you see so much information because it's a thick medical textbook, you can bring the book to your doctors. 51% off, by the way, $16.99 at Amazon.com. And I mean, you can get it so cheap right now, which is really great. By the way, tonight's not an infomercial on supplementation, supplements and all of that. Very important to know. I know that a lot of doctor authors, they sell their own supplement lines. And because they sell their own supplement lines, it's all about their supplements. It's all about all that stuff. That's not what this is. I don't own Thorne, which is a supplement company I like that I have on my directory. Here's another Thorne supplement here. I don't own traditional medicinals. I don't own Vimergy, which you guys know. The Vimergy products, this is my favorite line that I take every day. So really important to know there. So this is not one of those infomercials. What you'll see out there is there's a lot of guys out there now. They sell a book just so they can build their brand and then sell their supplementation. And they put like $1 million to $2 million a month in advertising. You see their pop-up ads left and right all through social media. They're bankrolling, $100 million a year. And it's really just garbage supplements. I see that all the time out there. That's not what this is. Basically what it is here is go to the library, get the book for free. How about that? Okay, I'm an infomercial for going to the library. Isn't that great? And then learn what supplementation you can bring to your doctor and talk to. And you can go to medicalmedium.com and see the best stuff that I use. Fine. But I'm not sponsored by the company. It's really important to know. And so anybody who's jumping on here, it's important to know because I get it. That's done all the time out there about the infomercials, just everywhere, people selling their crap. It's incredible. So, look, you guys, I'm going to be reading part 6 in Cleanse to Heal. That's where I'm going right now. It's part 6. It's in the section there with over 200 symptoms and conditions. It's page 472. It's part 6, knowing the cause and the protocols. That's the first time I've seen it not backwards on here. Knowing the cause and the protocols. You guys might be able to read the book from here now for the first time. This is a really cool system I got set up. I'm trying a new system so that you guys can read it from the book. I hope that's how it is on your side. All right. So that's where I am. In this section, there's over 200 symptoms and conditions with protocols. Now, there's supplements and dosages, what to do, okay? The book is designed to take you as far as you need to go. So when you do the 369 cleanse, you're healing one side of everything you're dealing with. You can also work with supplements too on another side of it. You could be somebody that's just doing the mono-eating cleanse, the 369. You could be doing the morning cleanse. You could do the heavy metal detox cleanse. You could do the anti-bug cleanse. So there's lots of cleanses in the book. You could do 369 original, simplified, and advanced. The book is really designed for someone to customize their entire system. And that's what's amazing. There isn't just medical medium protocol and I tried it and it didn't work. What you'll find out there, someone will be like, oh, I tried medical medium, it didn't work. Oh, that's interesting. Oh my God, did you do the 369 advanced 3 times in a row? Did you do the mono-eating cleanse? Did you try that for a month? Did you do the supplements and dosages? Did you do that? Always keep that in mind, because what happens is the book is designed with thousands of protocols. So if someone says, I tried medical medium, it didn't work, I tried fruits and vegetables, well, that's pretty funny because there's thousands of customized protocols in medical medium books. Thousands. So there's a reason for that. There's over 1,000 combinations in here so you can actually heal and move yourself forward. There's a reason for that. You can do 3 of the supplement recommendations. You can do 2 of the cleanses. You can customize it. You can get yourself to a place and you can take it all the way. That's how the book's designed. So all these points are really important. So let's get moving here a little bit. I'm in chapter 27, what you need to know about supplements right here. I get asked questions all the time, just hundreds and hundreds of questions, usually thousands of questions. I mean, it's ongoing, okay? Like, the questions come all different sizes and shapes. Like, do I need supplements? Do I not? How do I go about it? Where do I start? I'm sensitive. You know, that's a question too you'll get. Like, I'm sensitive. What do I do? How do I go about this? So there's so much of that. And I completely understand. The thing is that if you actually read the book, Cleanse to Heal, first of all, if I notice with all the different questions I get about supplementation or about cleansing or however, I realize that the person A doesn't have the book or never got the book, and that happens. So if you're one of those, you can get it it's on sale 51% off right now on Amazon US. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, or get it free at the library. And I noticed that I'll get a question like, I don't, like, what do I do for this? What do I do for that condition? Well, sounds like you didn't read this chapter, what you need to know about supplements, and then true causes, symptoms, and conditions. So it's either someone doesn't have the book or they never read it. It's one or the other. If they have it, they haven't read it yet. So let's cover this. So what I want to do is I want to walk through some of the pieces of it. Now, I won't be able to cover every single aspect. The book has too much information. There's never too much, but tremendous amounts of information that walks you through. So this is your guide, and that's what it is. It's like me, I put the book together with Spirit of Compassion to make it like you got me there with you, as far as like taking that to that place. So I'm starting on page 472 right here, and I'm just gonna read a little bit, some excerpts in between this, and I'm gonna help you, like I'm gonna guide you through understanding some of this information right now and all that. Just the first line in here, why is the world of nutraceuticals exploding? And why is the whole thing with why is supplementation and nutraceuticals exploding? That's because people are sick. They're sick. No one wants to take supplements. Who wants to take supplements? Who wants to take gobbles of pills and gobbles of tablets and liquids and all that kind of stuff and powders? Who wants to do that, right? You guys, like, who wants to go there? I'm glad you guys are all here. I'm seeing your comments. Darcy said, you're so kind to do these lives. Thank you. I'm honored you feel that way. Truly. Bless your heart, really, You can't wait to start your 369 cleanse? Jennifer said, how do I heal Hashimoto's? Jennifer, to begin with, that's a really good question. It's going to take us into here, actually, too. If you've been diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, okay, first thing is to learn the cause. Learn the cause, because the doctors have to tell patients what science and research believes it is, which is your body attacking itself, which is your immune system attacking your own thyroid, creates an autoantibody and attacks the thyroid. And that's not accurate because they've never proved it. They've never showed it. There's no study that can show it. There's no peer review study that shows it. There's no technology developed yet to show the body attacking its own gland. So I talk about the true cause in Cleanse to Heal. So the first thing is you get the book. If you go to the library and get the book for free, okay? And then when you have the book, go into the symptoms and conditions section, all right, and find out what the true cause was of what is Hashimoto's, or why you have Hashimoto's. That's to begin with. Then you'll see supplementation and protocols there. But I want you to read the chapter and everything before you even get there. So I'm in chapter 27. So the reason why nutraceuticals are exploding, you guys, is because people are sick, literally sick. That's the reason why. Really important to know right there. And so, because no one wants to just go and buy supplements, purchase supplements, spend all that money. And that's one of the problems. And here's a question I get all the time. How do I do this? I'm going to end up spending all this money and out there, because that's what people do. I've had people come to my office for years, for decades. I spent $10,000 in supplements just this month. I spent all these supplements I bought out there in the world. I went to this doctor, that practitioner, this healer, and I got treasure troves of supplements in my cabinets. And then I would be like, well, does any of those practitioners or people know what the true cause of your condition was? They're like, no, they don't know what's causing my fibromyalgia. They don't know what's causing this and that because nobody knows, right? And so be like, let's find out the true cause to what your fibromyalgia is. I'm just giving that as one example. And then let's look at your treasure trove of supplements that are in your cabinet and find out if any of them are for your fibro. And then when you go into their cabinet, I've seen this with so many clients over the years and years ago, I'd go in their cabinet with them and they would have thousands of dollars of supplements that were not going to help their fibromyalgia because the practitioners and the doctors did not know what the cause of the fibro was. And so that's why the person wasn't getting better, and that's why the person spent thousands of dollars. The whole reason for medical medium information is why I exploded, like the medical medium book one exploded when it did in 2015. Whole reason why we got here is because there were answers for conditions, and then when you take a supplement for the answer, you move forward, and that's what happens with medical medium information. That's why it's so important. So let's go into here a little bit more of all this. Let's see. This is interesting here. Supplementation while cleansing. It's an important question. Like, do I take supplements while cleansing? Okay? Do I take supplements while cleansing? It's an important question. How do we integrate supplements with the cleanse? We'll get a few keys. I'm going to give you a few key steps and reasons. Let's start with that right there. Say you're somebody doing the 3-6-9. And you want to still take your supplements. So say you still want to take your lemon balm right here. So it's, like that, your lemon balm, or say you still want to take your B12 or something like that. I'm just saying. So I'm going to show you some supplements in a little while too. Just know that when you're cleansing, you're lowering your fats. When you're doing medical medium cleanses, okay? Because you're bringing your fats down. When you bring your fats down, your blood doesn't have to deal with all that fat that's in the bloodstream. And any supplement you ever take in your life, doesn't matter what it is or wherever it is, if there's anything good in that supplement, like a nutrient of some kind, no matter what supplement it is, whether it's a vitamin or an herb or a nutrient of some kind, anything you're taking can only do as good if it enters the cells. So if it actually enters our cells. And so one of the reasons why in the cleanses too, the fats get lowered is because when you lower the fats, you can get more nutrients into cells as well. So that means that you won't have to do higher dosages on supplementation when you're doing cleanses because you got the glucose in there. The glucose attaches itself. The glucose in your bloodstream attaches itself to nutrients. Keep that in mind. So the glucose, in your bloodstream, okay, attaches to nutrients and drives it into cells. Always keep that in mind. So when you're doing a 3-6-9 cleanse, mono-eating cleanse, you're doing, heavy metal detox cleanse, the medical medium heavy metal detox cleanse, morning cleanse, your supplements are going to be more effective, more powerful. And then when you use a high quality supplement, like at medicalmedium.com, I have the directory there, and I have all the different supplement companies I like. I'm friends with so many of the supplement companies that are good because I like to know these people to some degree so that they don't put something terrible in something and all of a sudden whatever, but I don't own any of the companies on there. The point is that, and I'm not sponsored by them, but the point is with the supplements is that you don't have, you can cleanse and you can hold supplements off if you want while cleansing. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you want to take your supplements while cleansing, they're going to be more potent. So you can bring the dosages down too. That's an important question I get asked all the time. And the reason why you can bring your dosages down, because you're taking fats out of your diet during those cleanses. And so that means all those nutrients go right into cells much easier, much faster. No one knows this information. This is medical medium information. This is why medical medium books, medical medium cleanses, and medical medium books and protocols get people better the most. Because when they take the right supplements for the right problem, when they find out what the cause is, and they actually also do the cleanse to lower down the fats, what happens is all those powerful nutrients go into cells and they start coming out of their diseases, conditions, and symptoms and problems and all this other stuff. And if they go to their doctor and they bring the information, they get even extra help and they get all this extra help. So it's important to know. So it's one thing I want to cover right there. So I'm going to go into supplements to avoid while cleansing. So let's head in there right now. So let's go into there and supplements to avoid while cleansing. If you're on supplements that are not medical medium recommended, that's when we can get in trouble. So let's talk about that a little bit. So I'm in Cleanse to Heal right here. I'm reading excerpts out of here. We're talking about supplementation. If you just got on here, I'm going to cut open an aloe leaf and talk about how I eat the aloe in a couple of minutes. We're going to cover that, and we'll talk about some different supplements and so forth. So I'm reading out of Cleanse to Heal. So supplements to avoid while cleansing, you guys. If you are on supplements that are not medical medium recommended, that means medicalmedium.com on my directory. For instance, like you're on whey protein powder, then you can be held back with your healing. Really important to know. Probably one of the most important questions out there, because you'll see out there like, what about collagen? What about whey protein powder? What about something else? And what about nutritional yeast? Because people use that as a supplementation. Nutritional yeast will hold somebody back from healing when they're really sick, because of MSG. And so when we run into this stuff, this is where it gets kind of dicey. Because a lot of people are on supplementation that feeds pathogens without them knowing it. Whey protein powder will feed an Epstein-Barr, a shingles virus, a herpes simplex 1, cold sores. Okay, people think cold sores are no big deal. They're on their lip for a minute and then they go away and that's it. No, they're actually a lot of neurotoxins are produced by them. It gives people a lot of issues. You can even get trigeminal neuralgia like peaking up a little, even though shingles is the number one thing for trigeminal neuralgia. But and if you've heard nutritional yeast isn't good for you, it originated here. No one thought nutritional yeast was bad for you. No one thought that was bad for you. The MSG, the glutamic acid that's naturally occurring in it, it's not even that's just one reason why it's not good. There's a bunch of reasons, medical medium information only. But this is how it works, you guys. I just want to cover this 1 second. If medical medium information says nutritional yeast is bad, and it's the first place that says it, right? It gets out there. And it gets all around. And then someone hears it out there and they'll be like, oh, well, wait a minute. I heard it out there. So no, Anthony doesn't know anything when it originated here. It's unbelievable. This is how it works. It's not ego. It's just, or anything like that. What it is, okay, well, don't you want to know where all the information is so someone can heal? It's about getting people help so they have a way back to all of it. Oh, heavy metals are bad in our system. But why are they bad in your system? You'll find all the information here of why it's bad. Information no one's ever heard before, and how it oxidizes in your brain and spreads into brain tissue. Nobody knew that ever. Nobody. Not one place. So I say this stuff because if you hear about toxic heavy metals out there somewhere, and know where all the information is so you can actually get them out of your system, which leads to the next thing. Chlorella. So Chlorella a terrible supplement for people to take, but still, even now, you'll see like influencers on social media like taking my Chlorella right now. It's like, oh my God, it's just, how does this keep on happening? How do we get here where it keeps on happening? It's so painful, and so it's really tough because Chlorella is toxic, bottom line. It's just toxic. I'm just going to say it outright. First of all, most of them end up with bacteria in them. I've seen people doubled over vomiting for days and days and days because of Chlorella. You can hit anybody at any time. That's one thing. Chlorella also doesn't remove toxic heavy metals. Chlorella has toxic heavy metals in it. Like, it goes on and on and on and on. So all these things are important to know. So if you're someone and you're like doing fish oil, it's another one. You can't get the mercury out of fish oil. You cannot get the mercury out of fish oil. I'm sorry, you can't. You can do a centrifuge, chelation. You can do anything you want on fish oil. You're not going to get the toxic heavy metal residue out, the methyl mercury, because the more you take it out of an oil, a fish oil, the more dangerous it gets, because a homeopathic reaction occurs where you keep on diluting, you keep on trying to get that mercury out, and then that fish oil becomes more toxic, and then the methyl mercury goes to the brain. It's less toxic to eat a can of tuna fish than do fish oil supplements, and we know how bad a can of tuna fish is. So I mean, there we go. So fish oil is another example. It's like, I'm not getting better on a medical medium protocol, but I'm on whey protein powder, collagen, fish oil, Chlorella, protein powders with MSG in them, glandular supplements, bovine supplements, whatever. I mean, it's the list goes on. It's like, and that person's not doing medical medium protocols. It's just crazy how it works. So So the bottom line is, one thing that can hold people back is supplementation, not medical medium recommended, and there's a reason for it. I don't just pull this stuff out of my hat, okay, or whatever, all right? And it's like, there's a reason why these things don't help people, and it's critical reasons. So just know this. Anyway, if you just got on here, Cleanse to Heal, $16.99, 51% off Amazon.com. The sale actually stopped the other day, and it went up to $20, and then it went back down to $16 as of today. It's like a miracle. So take advantage of it, or go to the library and get it for free. I don't have any control over the sale of the book at any level. Amazon does all that. That's just how it's done. So let's go into some examples here. I talked about whey protein powder. It'll feed pathogens. It will feed pathogens. I talked about L-carnitine, also in the other medical medium books. That will feed pathogens. You can't get better while on L-carnitine. You can't get better when you have a real sickness, a real issue, symptoms and conditions with whey protein powder. You can't get better with these things. They feed bugs. You can't get better with natural flavorings and everything, and MSG and everything, you guys. This is critical. And before I go anywhere with supplements, you got to know this baseline. So important. Traces of mercury in fish oil. Mercury will feed pathogens. That's why people have the fibromyalgia, the Lyme disease, the rheumatoid arthritis, the Hashimoto's thyroiditis, the psoriatic arthritis, the sarcoidosis, just the list goes on, the vitiligo, whatever. I mean, all these different conditions, mercury will feed, eczema, psoriasis, mercury will feed bugs, keep bugs alive. Not a good thing. So fish oil is another bomb right there, all on its own. So I'm just covering a few other things here too. So it's a common mistake and prime example of why it's best to hold off on some supplements while you're doing a medical medium recommended cleanse. So if you're doing 369, if you're doing mono eating cleanse, if you're doing the morning cleanse, if you're doing any of these powerful cleanses that are saving lives every day out there, it's important to kind of hold off supplements you're doing, because chances are, before you got the book and before you started the cleanse, I'm just using some of these as examples. You got the Corella, you got the fish oil, you got the, you got the whatever, and everything I was talking about there, the collagen, the whey protein powder, the other protein powders that have MSG in it that nobody knows about. You're going to be on something. And then you're going to go into the cleanse, and you're going to be on these supplements that aren't getting you better. And then see how it all works. So critical to read this chapter, you guys, in Cleanse to Heal. You got to have... By the way, it's a medical textbook. It's really heavy, tremendous amounts of information. So when you get it, don't be surprised when you can't pick up the box so easily right off the start when you're realizing how big the book is. So let's go to where you start right here. Let's head here. So if you're dealing with more than one symptom or condition at the same time, pick the one that looms largest in your life. Okay, let's talk about that. Critical. Okay? If you're dealing with more than one symptom, you got 3 symptoms, 4 symptoms: dizziness, fatigue, anxiety, depression, aches and pains, floaters in the eyes, just right, list goes on. Tingles and numbness, pain in the neck, pain in the jaw, pain in the back, swelling, all these different things, okay? Even weight gain, weight issues, too much weight that you're worried about. Pick the symptom or the condition or a condition that you were diagnosed with. Pick the one that looms the most. That's the way to go. And when you pick that one and you head back into this book, into all the symptoms and conditions, right? So when you head in here, okay? You'll see, that's just, there's over 200 symptoms and conditions in here, and I just open it up to any page. It's methylation problems, that's one. Mononucleosis, Epstein-Barr, mood swings, irritability, multiple sclerosis. It just keeps on going on, Right here is neurological symptoms, CFS. Right here, neurological symptoms, CFS. You'll see in here, okay? So, and you'll see all the dosages. You'll see all the supplements in this book. So this book is critical for anyone to have. When you go in there, you're like, well, wait a minute, my fatigue is really bad. My fatigue's the big problem. That's what I'm dealing with, is my fatigue. I have Anxiety, I have some depression, I have some aches and pains, but fatigue is the most one that's looming over me. That's where I would go. So I would go in CFS right there. Okay, I would go in there and you'll see all the different supplements and you'll see all the different dosages in here. Okay, so you'll see that and you start there to begin with. So that's the first important critical piece. All right. So once you've found your symptom or condition here in the book, if you're sensitive, you can try one supplement a day. If you're sensitive, you can try one supplement a day, you guys. If not, you can put them all together as your daily regimen. So you can put them all together as your daily regimen. Or as a middle ground, you can choose a couple to start off with and then take it from there. So that's the way to go. You can easily do that. You can start with celery juice. That's one thing you can start with. Celery juice, that's herbal medicine. It's herbal medicine. And so celery juice is an herbal medicine. You can start with that herbal medicine, you guys, just so you know that. That's what you can do. And that's a big deal. And starting there is just to start all on its own. If you're somebody sensitive, work your way up to 32 ounces of it. That's what you can do. And then, another place you can go is B12. That's another place you go. So I'm going to talk about anyone who goes in there, what you're going to see in here, you're going to see a baseline. You'll see B12, zinc, vitamin C, lemon balm, okay? You'll see those 4, and you'll see a list of most important for somebody to start with, because you might be like, well, where do I start? What's the most important supplement? How do I do this? Well, let's go to anxiety and anxiousness. So I'm going to head there now. So I'm in anxiety and anxiousness right here, okay? So anxiety and anxiousness, and you'll see all the different supplements and everything. And I marked on anxiety right here, I marked with a pen the number 1 thing you can try for this, which is B12. So if you have anxiety, you can try B12 as number 1. You know, my favorite B12 is the Vimergy. So it's the Vimergy, V as in Victor, I, M as in Mary, ERGY. That's the Vimergy B12. It's adenosylcobalamin, methylcobalamin, right? But it's the best and highest quality on every level. And that makes a difference because crappy B12s don't really help. I mean, you can try your best to try to get the best thing you can, and you might get help a little bit, but it's not easy out there. I get it. But that's the one I would use. That's my favorite. So B12. And if B12 is showing high in blood tests, okay, doesn't mean you're getting enough B12. Because B12 high in your blood means that there's a methylation issue. So that means there's no reason to stop taking B12 if you have it high in a blood test, because methylation issues are what's happening. When B12 does not, when the liver is stagnant and sluggish and you have methylation issues in the liver, which most people have, then what will show up is the B12 will float around in the bloodstream and not enter into the nervous system, not enter into deep places. So when you get a blood test and it's showing high on B12, it doesn't mean your nervous system is high in B12. It doesn't mean your brain is high in B12. It's just showing up in bloodstream as high in B12. It doesn't mean the methylation is working properly to get it deep into the nervous system, which takes time. So what people do is they'll make mistakes. They'll stop B12 altogether because a test would say it's high in B12, but they'll stop altogether, or they were using the wrong kind of B12. And that's another thing all on its own. So then they get cheated out of actually healing anxiety, cheated out of healing all kinds of different neurological symptoms, tics and spasms and aches and pains. And because, B12 is that critical for that. So you got to be cautious on that when it shows up high. The other thing is science research doesn't know what kind of B12 levels we're supposed to have with all the pathogens, all the bugs, all the toxins, all the stress we're under. Science research doesn't govern all that or factor all that in. They don't factor any of that in, of what level of B12 is whatever the right kind of B12 or not. It's so many potholes. It's unbelievable to the degree of potholes. All information that comes from medical media and all originates here. I mean, it just does. All this type of information. No one had any of this. They don't. It's just I have to say that because it's critical to know where it comes from so people can find their way. And if it didn't come from here, I wouldn't be saying it. It is what it is. So let's go into this a little bit. So where to start? You have anxiety. So let's head in there. If someone has anxiety or anxiousness, okay, the best place to start when you look in supplements right here, I marked them. You'll see number 1 is B12. Number 2 is zinc. So let's see, the zinc that I use as an example. So I'm on page 491 for a second, but I'm only showing this as an example on page 491 where anxiety, and I'm just showing you that but really 476 is where I am though. So I'm just gonna show you guys. If you go on page 476 in Cleanse to Heal, it says where to start right here. I got all my little postage notes. I got a new book, and because the postage notes were on the other book, they filled up the whole thing, so I'm starting fresh. So in here, it says celery juice is a good place to start. Beyond that, vitamin B12, I showed you that, guys. Zinc is the next one to start right here. That's the Vimergy zinc, the one I love. It's the right kind of zinc. It's a liquid zinc sulfate, but it's done right, which is critical. Vitamin C is the third thing. Lemon balm's the fourth thing. So what I do is I'll say, hey, if I got an anxiety disorder and I can't get rid of my anxiety and I'm struggling with it and I'm suffering from it, first thing I would do is start a cleanse. Start one of the cleanses in medical medium Cleanse to Heal. Second thing I would read the supplements chapter, and I would go and find anxiety in here. This is what I would do. And I would look and I would say, well, since I read the chapter, it said start with just a few supplements if I want. I don't have to do the whole protocol of everything. I can just start with a few supplements. And B12 is one of them. It says 3 dropperfuls twice a day. So for anxiety, it says 3 dropperfuls twice a day of B12. And you can go to your doctor, you go to your practitioner, and you can talk to them about that, and that's what you can do. So it's 3 dropperfuls twice a day. So that's 1 dropperful right there as an example. And if you're sensitive, though, and I'm going to read about that in a little bit, if you're sensitive, you can just do a few drops if you want. I mean, you can just literally start with a few drops. 1, 2, 3. That's what you can do. I mean, if I was sensitive, that's what I would do. And you can do just a few drops. So the second thing I would go with would be zinc. So that's the second thing right there. And I would do the same thing. It says zinc, 1 dropperful daily of zinc. So 1 dropperful daily of zinc. And everybody's zinc deficient. We have to understand that. The soils are zinc deficient. Our food is zinc deficient. Organic food, organic produce and organic food is zinc deficient. So that's just how it works. And so what happens is zinc controls our immune system. That's what gives our immune system the power to battle everything. That's why zinc is critical for what's going around now, but zinc is critical for all the viral stuff. All of it. The Epstein-Barrs, the shingles, the HHV6s nobody talks about. All these things. Critical for all of that. So zinc is the next one, right? You'll see that. And this is the Vimergy zinc. V is in Victor, I, Mergy. It's a liquid zinc sulfate, but it's the right way to do it and the right kind, like I said before. So we'll go into the third thing, vitamin C. So that's the micro C that I use right here. It's the Vimergy micro C. If you have a vitamin C you like and love, and by all means try it and do that. But for anxiety, you don't want one that is that straight ascorbic acid, no buffer whatsoever, because that's going to be irritating with anxiety, if anything. So that's why it says micro C, really important on here. It's the type of buffered kind. So then we got the fourth is lemon balm. So I'm going to go into that for a minute too. You got the lemon balm. Lemon balm is critical for anxiety. It's a great one right there. I mean, and it'll say for anxiety, 4 dropperfuls 4 times a day. Now, if you got really mild anxiety, you can do a half a dropperful. You can do 1 dropperful. You can do 2 for a whole day. You can do 3 tiny drops. You can do lemon balm tea. This is Traditional Medicinals. It's my favorite tea company. So they got, that's the lemon balm that I actually, I have lemon balm tea every single day. I like it because it's antiviral, antibacterial. I like to keep my immune system strong, just in case you bump into something or you're somewhere public and, you pick up something. So I love the lemon balm. So, but that's the whole great thing is you look and you're like, well, lemon balm. And it'll say 4 dropperfuls twice a day. Okay. So that's, That's the lemon balm here, but you can do smaller dosages. If you're chemical sensitive, if you've got food sensitivities, if you're a really sensitive person, you got so many options here. You can do one supplement one day, then the next day do another one, then the next day do another one, and keep it just one at a time. Or 3 tiny drops of one, 3 tiny drops of another, and you can do so much. This is why there's thousands of combinations with the medical medium protocols. That's the whole point. But I walk you through and I answer questions and I give you the information in this book. If you're somebody that just got on, take advantage of the sale on this book. It's $16.99 on Amazon.com. If you want to in the US, it's 51% off. But go to the library for free if you want to do that. I mean, if everybody goes to the library, I'm happy. I just want them to have the book. It's critical. I just want you feeling better. It's about you getting better. That's what it's about. Anyway, so I'm going to go to page 476 again, and here I am. I'm reading about this a little bit more. And if you're ready to move forward beyond that, if you have a symptom condition that you find in the back of the book out of the 200 symptoms and conditions, okay, and you have a symptom or a condition back there, go to lysine. Go to spirulina, go to curcumin, go to cat's claw, go to lysine. I give you direction on the most important ones to work with if you're getting overwhelmed at the amount of supplements in a list. The reason why there's more supplementation in the list, some people have more difficult pathogens. They'll have a really stubborn Epstein-Barr. They'll have one of the over 60 varieties of Epstein-Barr or 2 of them. And they'll have 2 of them in their liver, 1 in their thyroid, and they're really struggling. Or they'll have shingles, or they'll have cytomegalovirus, or they'll have streptococcus causing SIBO, or bloat, or acne. They'll have strep causing, all those things, or UTIs, or bladder infections, or urinary tract infections, kidney infections. So I give you options to go further and further, and that's so important, and that's how you actually get people better, is you have the choices and options with the right information. So they don't just stop like, oh, I tried medical medium protocol, it didn't work. What? You tried? You did 32 ounces of celery juice twice a day? You did the heavy metal detox cleanse? You lowered your fat long enough? You actually did supplementation in its fullest extent if you wanted to. So, and but like I said, if you're really sensitive, you can do little drops. And I'm going to go to page 497 now. Okay. You can use this technique if you're sensitive. So I'm going to give you a rundown on the technique if you're sensitive, all right? And you can do little drops, small amounts. So if you're truly chemical sensitive, if you have food sensitivities, you can use this food and chemical sensitivity technique. If you feel you're sensitive, and you may be somebody that's not chemical sensitive, you're not food sensitive, but you're sensitive. You're just sensitive. And if you're sensitive, and you can use this technique. So you don't have to be under the guise of food sensitivities or chemical sensitivities to use this technique. So I'll show you this technique, which is really cool. Everyone with chemical and food sensitivities is different, and everyone with sensitivities is different. You're welcome to explore any of the supplements in this chapter. The list here is simply a starting point for some sensitive people, okay? The fresh celery juice, that's one place you can start. The raw honey, another place you can start as a daily routine. For the other herbs and supplements in this book, take only one supplement one day. If you want, take one another day. Cycle. That's one thing you can do. You can do this on an 8-day cycle, and I talk about it in here. Really, you need to get the book, and you need to read that so you can kind of like really digest that, because I'm going to cover so much ground here that I can only spend so much time with each powerful point. Okay, here's a question I always get all the time, you guys. Can you put supplements in a smoothie? Yes, but you don't have to. Here's what I like to do, okay? I like to do this. First of all, with Vimergy supplements, because that's what I take myself personally, I don't put it in my smoothie. I don't put supplements really in my smoothie, like all like the tinctures, all the herbs and all that. I don't normally do that, all right? So what I like to do is I like to get a little shot glass, a small little glass, put an ounce of water in it. That's what I like to do personally, and I put all my tinctures in there. and then I just send it down. And I chase it down with a little water if you don't like the taste. That's what I like to do. Okay, so but people like to put it all in their smoothie, but I don't like to put all the different tinctures and all the subs in the smoothie because I want my smoothie to taste more like food and not herbal supplements. So that's what I personally choose. So you've got a couple of different options and all that to what you want to do, and so that's this is just a quick answer for that question, but also I also take them straight. So I take all the liquid straight. So that's what I do too a lot of times. Like I'll be a little bit too lazy. I got too much going on, or I got so much on my plate. I'll just, instead of getting a shot glass and putting an ounce of water in it, or small glass, because whatever, and put water in it, I just would do them straight too. Boom, boom, boom. Take them straight, then drink right off. Glass of water, whatever. Send it on down too. So that's what you can do. When you see the term daily, this is interesting. That means to take the given dosage of the supplements over the course of the day. You can take it over the course of the day, okay? And it's your choice on how you want to do that. So when you say daily, it means that to take the given dosages of the supplement over the course of the day. It's your choice on how to do that. You're welcome to take the whole dose once a day when you see that whole section back here in Cleanse to Heal, all right? If you're sensitive, you may want to break it up into multiple servings. For example, if it says to take 2 teaspoons of barley grass juice powder daily, you may decide either to put both teaspoons together in a smoothie. Those work good in a smoothie, by the way, because the Heavy Metal Detox smoothie has the barley grass juice powder, that's the Vimergy. It has the spirulina, the incredible spirulina. It's the best spirulina. Vimergy spirulina is best in the world. I put the wild blueberry powder in there. You guys have seen that. I did that the other day. The medical medium heavy metal detox smoothie. And it'll say, for example, it takes it says 2 teaspoons of barley grass juice powder daily. You may decide either to put both teaspoons together in a smoothie, or have 1 teaspoon in the morning smoothie and 1 teaspoon in your water at night if you really wanted to. I mean, you can do it in so many different ways. When you see the term twice a day, that means 2 installments taken at any time of day, as long as they're at least 4 hours apart. If you miss one of those installments on any given day, try to start fresh the next day. So that's just a little something right there to cover too. I want to talk about children's dosages in a minute and all of that. Quality is critical, and I want to read that right now. First of all, actually, singles for a reason. It has something to do with quality, too. This is important. So I'm in Cleanse to Heal if you just got here. The book's on sale, $16.99, 51% off of Amazon.com in the U.S. Take advantage of the sale because the sale was gone, and then it came back because they control it at Amazon. I couldn't believe it's back. It's a medical textbook, and take advantage of it. Or go to the library. Go to the library and get it out for free. That's what I would do. I'd be like, I'm heading to the library and just going to grab the book grab it out for free. That's an option. So singles for a reason right here. You'll notice that almost every one of the items you come across in the urban supplement section. You get ready, you guys? Like in this right here, in the supplement section of dosages and conditions, right here it's canker sores, chemical and food sensitivities, cataracts, bloating, brain fog. When you're in here, anxiety, autoimmune diseases and disorders, when you're in here, okay? Addiction, adrenal problems, Alzheimer's, acne. When you're in here, what you'll notice is that most of the supplements recommended are in single form, individual single form. And some of them might have a few things in there, but most of them are in single form. You'll see spirulina as spirulina. And that's how you actually get better. When you take a powder form out there that has 50 ingredients in there, 30 ingredients in there, 25 ingredients in there, chances of getting better are slim to none. Because what happens is supplement companies use a spec of spirulina and a crappy one. And they throw it in there. So you'll see spirulina on the list. Whoa, alfalfa grass, barley grass, spirulina, chlorella. I mean, you know what I mean? You just see whatever going down the list. Collagen, minerals, trace minerals, amino acids. And you're reading a whole list of these things. You can't get better on those. You can't. That's what goes wrong. So somebody will be like, oh, I did the medical meeting protocol. I had L-lysine. They had a speck of L-lysine in a amino acid formula that had 20 amino acids. It's like throwing away money and not getting better. And so you'll see that when you look in here at lysine, I don't even know if I have a lysine right here. I do. I have a Vimergy lysine right in front of me here. When you see lysine, you're getting enough lysine, and then you know why you're using lysine, because you're killing off Epstein-Barr. You're knocking back Epstein-Barr. And when you knock down Epstein-Barr and shingles, all of a sudden your tingles and numbness start to get a little better off, your aches and pains, and your fatigue starts getting better over time. And what happens is that supplement companies put 30 things in something, 20 things in something, 15 things in something, 10 or more. And when you have 10 or more in all these different supplements, they got fillers in the supplement. Then you have a speck of dust of each thing. It's how they take advantage, rip off, and scam millions and millions and hundreds of millions of people. It's the game. See, I talk to supplement companies. I know the game. I know all the crap, all the twists, even the best vegan company supplements starting out now that think they're so great. They'll have like 15 things in there, a little bit of this, a little bit of maca, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and they're ripping you off and just sending you down the river without a paddle. And that's what they're doing. So you guys, the reason why it's singles in here, it's advanced information, it's above the rest. A, you know what's wrong. B, you know what to take. C, when you take nettle leaf for a condition, because I'm looking at nettle leaf right here, and what I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at nettle leaf. When you take nettle, you're not taking a speck of nettle dust in something that has 20 ingredients in a supplement form, or 10, 15, 18 ingredients, and you see nettle in there. You're not getting nettle. You're not going to get better from nettle. And it's a scam, because what they do is they get these fulfillment centers, and all the companies, they'll have a great cool, earthy label on the bottle. You'll see an influencer, some guy influencer like, yeah, this is so synergistic, works with your body. Oh, the highest ingredients sourced from the Amazon. They'll have all that, but really it's from a fulfillment center. That guy's just a bull crapper. And you have 15 different things in there, plus citric acid, which is terrible, and all this other stuff. This is critical to healing. This is what matters. This is how everything, really, this is how it happens here. So this is really important to know. And so you'll see singles in here. By the way, if you just got on here, Cleanse and Heal, take advantage of that. So, there's so much to cover here, but take advantage of Cleanse and Heal, it being like $16.90 Amazon, but library. Go to the library if you want. And because I can't cover it all here. The reason why I keep on showing the book is, what am I going to do? You guys not have the book and then not have all the information? I can only show so much each live. I'm trying to do as many as I can. I do 3 lives a week, or 6 lives a week, really, to go to the library and get it for free. But it's critical to have the information in the book. I mean, what am I going to say? So the whole thing here with singles, for a reason, is so critical. When you take the lemon balm by itself, or you drink the lemon balm tea by itself in a potent form like traditional medicinals, I do both. Personally, I do both. And when you do that, it's not an herbal mix with a speck of dust, and literally you get ripped off. You look at your supplement, that's what would happen. All the people I've seen over the years, thousands of dollars of supplements in their cupboards, all junk, fillers, everything all packed and all that in there, and people not getting better with all those different ingredients with speck of dust and everything. So you can learn about supplements from my directory at medicalmedium.com if you really want to know. But the point is it's making sure you don't get cheated. Making sure you don't get cheated. It's critical to not get cheated. So let's go into Lyme disease, because on Instagram too, I forgot that I didn't cover Lyme disease. I want to just cover it for a couple of seconds. If you go into Lyme disease in here, in Cleanse to Heal, just trying to find it right here. If you go into Lyme disease, I talk about the true cause of Lyme disease, which is critical to know. You'll see that here. So if you go in here, you'll see Lyme disease, and you'll see a whole section on the true cause, and you can read it right there. Okay? And in Lyme disease, you'll see the supplementation right there. Okay? You'll see the fresh celery juice. The reason why that's there is because it's an herbal medicine. So it's not like, well, why is celery juice there? You don't see other juices there. You don't see other juices there. You don't see a juice. You don't see carrot juice in there. That's not an herbal medicine. You don't see, and because medical medium information is the only place where we know what celery juice does, because it's an herbal medicine. So you'll see that there, say work up to 32 ounces. Okay, and then you go down the list. You'll see 5-MTHF. You'll see the methylfolate right here. You'll see, and you go down the list, you'll see the cat's claw in here, okay? And you might be somebody with Lyme disease that's sensitive. You see the cat's claw, that's the Vimergy cat's claw, that's the best one out there, hands down. Cat's claws don't work out there. And you'll see curcumin, you'll see glutathione, you'll see lemon balm, like I was talking about there. Now, if you're sensitive, you just do a tiny drop. Use the technique I talked about. Use the whole sensitive technique. You can take 3 tiny drops of cat's claw, all right? But you'll see the cat's claw dosage is 3 dropperfuls twice a day. You don't have to go the 3 dropperfuls twice a day. You can be 3 tiny drops of cat's claw a day. And you can work your way up. You can customize your protocol. You can talk to your doctor. You can talk to your practitioner. That's how incredible this is. Then you'll see the licorice root in Lyme disease. But why is that there? Why is that? Well, first of all, no one used cat's claw for Lyme disease until medical medium information got out there years ago. Because cat's claw kills off viruses that cause Lyme disease, and you'll read about it. Knowing the true cause of your condition is how you recover. Then knowing what to do and what to use and how to do the cleanse, there's the tools so you can just really get you there. So then you'll see the lysine because it's antiviral. You'll see the licorice root antiviral. You see the mullein leaf. And you go down here, you'll see the raw honey. That's another one. You'll see the B12 for the nervous system. Why B12? Oh, nobody knew why. Medical medium information taught people for the central nervous system. B12 is for the central nervous system because our central nervous systems get beaten down by viruses and pathogens from neurotoxins. That's why we get the chronic fatigue syndrome, the rheumatoid arthritis, we get the Lyme disease, we get all these different conditions, and we get the brain fog. All that we get the colitis, that's viral too. So B12 is for nerves because of viruses. Then you see the vitamin C right there. Then you'll see the zinc. You'll see a working Lyme disease protocol. That doesn't exist anywhere else. I don't know how more I can hold somebody's hand here. You can take this to your doctor and have them work with you on everything in here and maybe add to whatever they're doing too. But the point is that's what this book is designed for. Plus you can do cleanses and not even go into the supplements. But you have opportunities and choices to take it as far as you want to go. So let's talk about children's dosages. I want to go into that a little bit. That's an important thing. So I'm in cold and flu and Cleanse to Heal, supplements and dosages right there. If you don't have the book, you might want to have the book. Cold and flu, and in this section here I have dosages. So it'll say supplements for cold and flu for adults. Now, why is he talking about cold and flu? Like, who cares about cold and flu right now, right? We're going to care. We're going to care. Because there's going to be another virus still looming around. At the same time, flu comes rolling in and hammering in pretty rough, because it does. And so there's a lot to be concerned about. children, a lot to be concerned about. Babies, lots to be concerned about. Adults too. But that's why I put this in here. What Spirit of Compassion foresaw was the whole virus thing. Spirit of Compassion foresaw that. I got 35 years of freaking out about viruses. 35 years of freaking out about viruses to get people safe and get them recovered with all their conditions and symptoms, including flu viruses or any other manufactured virus that hits some scene. Okay, whatever. All of it. And that's the whole thing. Medical media information is about protecting people, about protecting with the viral issues and all of that. So when it comes down to it, there's supplements for cold and flus for adults, but for children, which is critical because when flu season comes and you got the flus pounding away in December and everything else and all that, it's critical. I want to talk about Lyme disease, back to Lyme disease for one question because I saw something there. Lyme is not bacterial. Just want to cover that right there. And you'll know. First of all, medical medium information pushed Lyme disease out of the bacterial category. It's not even in that category anymore. So Lyme disease, the Lyme labs, they don't want to lose their empires. So the Lyme labs want to still say it's bacterial because they don't want to lose their empires. Lyme labs have been bankrolling, and they're not going to break that. But Science and Research took it out of the bacterial category, and they put it in the autoimmune category. That was because medical medium books, millions of medical medium books got around the world, and people stopped thinking that Lyme disease is bacterial anymore. So people actually know it's viral because of the medical medium books. If you're new to that, get the books and learn. And so that's why I was talking about that. So anyway, we'll go back to the cold and flu supplements. So here it is. Supplements for cold and flu in children ages 1 to 2. All right. Supplements for colds and flu in children ages 3 to 4 with dosages and protocols. Dosages and protocols. For instance, supplements for cold and flu in children ages 1 to 2, it'll say elderberry syrup, 1 teaspoon 3 times a day. Golden seal, 4 tiny drops. Not dropperfuls, 3 times a day. So, and the list goes on and on and on. And then you got supplements for cold and flu in children from ages 5 to 8 years old. Supplements for cold and flu in children ages 9 through 12. Supplements for colds and flus in ages 13 and up. So you'll see that's here, okay? Which is really powerful information. Take it to your pediatrician when cold and flu comes or whatever, or have your pediatrician have the book too. So, and you can take to your doctor, pediatrician, and ask them if it's okay for your child to have those amounts and these dosages. So that's something that's in here as well, which is really incredible. But the bottom line is, it's all about so many options. And I walk you through it to empower you. Empowerment is having an answer to why you're sick. That's number one. Why am I sick? Because leaky gut is not an answer. Because leaky gut isn't even a real thing. I know that's hard for people to hear, but if someone had a leaky gut, they would be in the hospital with a temperature of 105, dying of sepsis. See, what happens is leaky gut isn't why people are sick. People with diverticulitis that almost have a hole in their colon going to the outside of their bloodstream, they don't even suffer from, there's people that have diverticulitis with holes in their colon almost to the other side, and they don't have symptoms people have that get diagnosed with leaky gut. So you have to understand it doesn't work that way. If you even had a puncture, even a passageway, you'd be so sick it would be insane. So I want to go into, so leaky gut is just a theory. They have no proof. There's never been a peer-reviewed study that actually showed it happening. It's not seeable. It's not visionable. It's not known. It's not even there's no science research to back it up alternatively, conventionally. There's ammonia permeability. So I talk about ammonia permeability. That's different. That's when you have so much stuff rotting that's impacted in your intestinal tract, like rancid fats, rancid proteins on the linings of the intestinal tract, and it's creating ammonia gas. And that ammonia gas will go through everything. It'll go through your bones. It goes up to your teeth and rots your teeth at night. People are like, well, why am I losing teeth? Well, all that stuff's been impacted in them for 30 years, 20 years, 15 years, and their teeth start going. That's ammonia permeability. That's different. Let's go into aloe a little bit. And when teeth have problems, it's not from what you're doing that day or that time period. When teeth have problems, they develop teeth problems, that's from 10 years ago. What were you doing 10 years ago? What were you doing 15 years ago? What were you doing? Did you come into this world mineral deficient? You know, lemon water does not hurt teeth at all, because people never did lemon water, but everybody's in a dentist chair getting their teeth drilled. What did you do in your life in the past? Was it deficiencies? What kind of foods were you eating 10 years ago? Because our teeth problems don't develop in the moment from what we're doing right now. Our teeth problems develop from 10 years ago, 5 years ago, from 8 years ago. So, and dentist chairs are filled with people that are eating animal protein. So it's not about plant protein. It's filled with everybody and everybody. So it's really important to know that. So here's an aloe leaf right here. I talk about aloe leaf protocols in Cleanse to Heal, the symptoms and conditions area. Really important to know. Here's aloe leaf. So what I like to do is I cut off this end because it's extra bitter. I mean, I still dig a spoon in there, but, you know, I cut off this end right here. So, I mean, personally, I dig a spoon in there and kind of dig that out, but it's really bitter because it's right close to the plant. Because when they pluck the aloe, they pluck it right off the plant, and this part right here is really bitter. That's really bitter, but so I cut it off for you guys. I figured it's the best thing for you guys to do too. You can eat the aloe, and you can eat it straight. I eat it straight, okay? Even though I got the medical medium recipes where you can put it in a blender and blend it with water and drink it down, because that's an amazing way to do it. It's an incredible way to do it. I've always talked about that for decades, but I like to eat it straight. It's quicker for me too, you know, and so what I do is I cut off a section about so big, just showing you right here. I just cut off a section of the aloe. Don't add to food. Don't add food in your blender with it or anything else. You can put your aloe with what you're eating and blend it up. Of course, you can do that. I just like to do it alone because it's more potent as the medicine it does. It brings down the acids. It gets to the digestive tract on its own by itself, which I really love. It's an herb I like to take by itself is what it is. Wild food I like to take by itself. It's a wild food I like to take by itself. And so what I do is what I just did now, I have it right here. What I did I took a knife right here and I cut it like this. I'm trying to show you in a different way here. Oh, there you go. Okay, and I open it up like that. Then I fillet it. Hope I'm not going too fast. The aloe in supplementation, I hate. I hate aloe in supplementation. I hate aloe in drinks, meaning not like making your own fresh aloe vera water. I hate aloe in bottles with preservatives because they put preservatives in it. It sits on the shelf in the health food store. Hey, I'm going to grab a bottle of aloe. If that's the only way you can do it and that's the only thing you can get, you can try that. But I personally like trying to get a hold of a leaf if you can. That's my favorite thing to do. And so I just filleted it back like this. I just did this. Just trying to show you guys. I just filleted it back like that. It's dripping everywhere right now, so. And then I filleted this piece right here. I'm going to fillet it again. So I just filleted it again with the knife. I'm probably not doing a great job in front of you guys. As always. And what else do you expect, right? I'm always messing something up on here. And then I eat this. I just put it in my mouth and just gobble it down, right? That's one side there. Just knocked it off. So here's the other side. And I just fillet the other side like this. I fillet the skin back. Try not to get it on the computer, too. The camera. And there you go. And I do that. And I fillet it. And that's the next piece. I take both off and I eat it, just like that. So, that's right there. And I'll eat it fresh once a day, but the whole thing is it's great for digestive problems. I like it for the mono-eating person, then in the mono-eating plan in here. So when you get Cleanse to Heal, you'll see the mono-eating diets in here. It's the mono-eating cleanse. And you can do that mono-eating cleanse for a long time. Gastroparesis is incredible for other different symptoms with your digestive tract, all of it. The mono-eating cleanse in here, it's really great. But what I like though is I like the aloe vera kind of mixed in there for people doing mono-eating, people with digestive problems, people with gut problems and gut issues. I like having the aloe in there. So that's something right there to think about. And I mean, overall, I mean, you guys, Cleanse to Heal. I mean, check it out. These are some of the supplement information I can cover today. I'll do another one. There's so much really to cover. The book's on sale. And go to medicalmeme.com to the supplement directory so you know like what is safe, what is something that I would take, because that's the whole point and of having that there. Because what happens and what people do is they end up just getting lost out there. And then how do you get better when you're taking the wrong zinc? You don't. How do you get better when you're taking chlorella when you're supposed to be taking the right kind of spirulina? How do you get better when you're doing too much nutritional yeast with all that MSG? You don't. Nutritional yeast alone can make or break somebody's healing. It can make or break them healing, crossing a finish line. And when you really think about so many obstacles and so many problems that can get in the way, that's why these books have people who actually are able to read these books, focus, and actually just really take it seriously and move forward with it, or take it to their doctor that really cares about them and wants to help work with them. The people who move forward, they're the people who do. It's not just like, oh, I tried celery juice for 5 days and you ended up doing an HPP one on the shelf of the health food store that was like high pressured pasteurization and doesn't work, and it wasn't even a fresh one, and you're like, next thing you know, you go online, you're like, celery just didn't work. It's like, you know, the whole bit. I answer questions, and but you guys are incredible. I'm reading some of the comments right now. This is a new system I have set up, so I'm looking over to read the comments. Jennifer said, you're so great for us. Thank you. You're awesome. What Minnie says, what company do you get your supplements from? Vimergy. That's where I buy them from. Vimergy is V as in Victor, I-M-E-R-G-Y. That's the company I use. It's the best stuff ever. Traditional Medicinals is another one for my teas. They're not my teas. I buy them to drink them. Traditional Medicinals, the best teas. Okay, good question. I like Thorn. That's Thorn GABA. The camera's so weird on here. That's Thorn GABA. I'm just saying, so that's Thorn 5-MTHF. Once again, Vimergy. Vimergy has the amazing products. They got the vegan EPA DHA, but the best one there is, that's Vimergy. Vimergy has the spirulina, incredible stuff, all of it. Yeah, so all of the whole thing is, just because I like Thorn doesn't mean I like all of their products. That's not it at all. So just know that I like their GABA and I like their 5-MTHF. I like their methylfolate, but it doesn't mean I like all their products. Don't get confused at that. Check my directory so you know, because my directory changes a lot at medicalmeme.com, because if you go there, you'll see that, you know, I might like one product from Thorn or two products, but I don't like the rest of them because of all kinds of different pitfalls they have in them. It's the same thing with a lot of products. Vimergy, I like all of their products because they're like exceptionally above board. Like Vimergy, that company right there, V as in Victor, I-M-E-R-G-Y, they're exceptionally above board. I like every product they come out with. They keep it so fair and so straight, and it's really unbelievable what they've done. It's the quality and everything about it. You know, here's the licorice from Vimergy right here. But I like a few different companies. I like a bunch of companies, but I only like certain things from some of these companies because they blow it in so many other ways with other products. They just blow it. It's incredible how it works. Alexandra says, you're incredible. And SOC, thank you for everything. You're incredible too. You rock. Awesome. A.U.R. Robinson says, I do love Vimergy. I do too. Incredible company. They're good people. They're incredible mom and pop company. They don't care about spending money on the product. They'll spend money on the product when other companies won't. Vimergy also gets every single product individually tested for toxic heavy metals. Other companies don't because it costs too much money. So you have to understand what you're dealing with when you're dealing with a really good company. It's really amazing what happens. I love you too, AU. What can I do for, Joseph says, AW, what can I do for a hangover? Try not to drink. Try not to drink too much if you can. Is it wine? Is it hard liquor? Are you doing whiskey? Are you doing tequila? What are you doing? I mean, whatever. I don't know too much about liquor, but are you doing rum? I don't know. I probably sound like funny about it because I don't really know what drinks are out there. Vodka? And, well, whatever you're doing or whatever you're getting loaded on, be easy on your liver. Keep that in mind. But you don't need me lecturing you on that. You know about that. But I'm proud of you for asking. What to do over a hangover? Here's what you do. When you beat yourself up by doing something intense like that, like hitting your body hard with some alcohol, you want to do a lot of things to make yourself stronger. You want to do the vitamin C for your liver. You want to drink the celery juice to help restore yourself. You want to do the aloe vera. You want to just do everything you can so that when you're knocking yourself down with the alcohol overload, you want to be able to kind of, recover. But don't make it permission to do more. I'm just looking at some other things. How do I find the products you recommend? Ada, medicalmedium.com. Check my supplement directory, my products directory, okay? I'm not the owner of all those products. I'm not sponsored by those companies. Check that out, okay? This isn't an infomercial to sell supplements. It's not. Or it's not an infomercial to get the book free out of the library. It's not, okay? You could buy it also Amazon.com, $16.99, 51% off. Incredible, really. Patty, AW, can I get these supplements in Australia? Vimergy, yes. You could get Vimergy, V as in Victor, IMERGY in Australia. Definitely. Yes, check the Vimergy website. Go to Vimergy.com and check the Vimergy website. Definitely. Yeah. Australia. It's funny. I mean, I love Australia, and the Australian people, they buy the medical medium books out there. They order them and get them, I hear. I mean, I've heard that they're out there. I don't know if they're in the libraries. I don't know how it works in Australia, if the medical medium books are in the libraries. In the US, they're in the libraries. And I always tell people to go into the libraries and get it for free because I'd rather have somebody do that if they can. But I know in Australia they're getting the books. And I just, I hope that Amazon is running a sale. I think they're running a sale in Australia right now, which would be great. Because people in Australia, what I notice is they care about their health, like, unbelievably. And just, it's incredible. And they want answers. Oh my God. Danielle said books are in libraries in Australia. Yeah. That cheers me up. Books are in libraries in Australia. So yeah, incredible. That just really made my day right there. It's like, for real. All right, you guys. On that happy note, books are in the libraries in Australia. On that happy note, I will probably let you go for the night. Love you guys greatly. Thanks for coming on tonight. Sorry I didn't answer a lot of questions. Amazing. I'm reading the comments, you guys. So, all right. Heading off, and I hope you come to another live. Bless your heart, and just know that I care, and I believe in you guys. And if you're struggling, suffering with a symptom or condition, just know that I stand behind you, stand with you, and let's move forward together. I'm proud of everybody, okay? And know if you've been through a lot, just know that my heart pours out to you. Truly does. Okay, God bless you, and be good. And always pat yourself on the back. Okay? Have compassion for yourself and know that you're a good person. No matter what. No matter what, you're a good person. Okay. Bye-bye.